So to our 24th and last final of this World Championship regatta. Canada, the champions of 2002, can they defend their title? Well, up against them are France, newcomers to the men's eights finals, not involved in last year's regatta. Then Great Britain, of course, Olympic champions in 2000, sixth last year. In lane number 3 are Canada with their distinctive style, developed by their coach Mike Spracklin. And to their left, Mike Tatey's America, with all of his crown jewels packed into this boat. In lane number 5, Australia, runners-up, of course, in Sydney. It's 1986 since they triumphed in the men's eights. And finally, Germany looking to make it a double. Runners-up a year ago, bronze medalists 2 years ago, but like their women, failed to qualify in the men's eights for Sydney.
Attention.
Well, it's always a great sight, the final event of the regatta, the eights here, 6 eights, all at top speed. It's a sprint from start to finish. They're all up around 40 and they don't let up. It's all the way through for the 5 1/4 minutes.
At the bottom of the picture there, closest to you, Germany in the pink boat, then in white, 2 from the bottom, Australia, then the dark boat of the United States, 3 from the top are Canada, and then it's Great Britain and France furthest away from you, and it is the Americans who've got the very quick start. So Mike Tatey's men with an early advantage.
Yeah, they were off at 47 strokes a minute, and they really have moved out in front. It's a great start for them, looking good, blades well parallel there. Bit of a popple on the water, bit of a bounce, but they are moving, they are shifting.
Yeah, they've done a bit of changing around in the American boat throughout the regatta week here, but it is Jonathan Watling who's the man who's in the stroke seat today for the American eight. And they've also got the very experienced Peter Cipollone, the coxswain there, a man who tasted victory in 97, 98 and 99 with the Americans when they were so dominant and then disappointed so much at Sydney.
Here come Canada. Canada have made a move really early on. Already there, they've started to move just ahead of the United States. Just moved up with that distinctive lie back. Look at the bowman there, really lying back in the finish there. And into this wind, into this difficult headwind, that's exactly what they want to do. Because they want to keep those blades in the water for as long as they can and really drive their bows into this headwind, stay buried, and then out quick and on to the next stroke. They're doing the right thing here, and it's working for them.
Yeah, very short-lived advantage there for the Americans. Canada now moving up into the lead, and on the far side, Great Britain just about in the bronze medal position. Now, this is an improving eight, Dan.
Yeah, this is a British eight there. They've come on a lot just through this season. They were 6th last year. They've made a couple of changes, brought Ed Code, who was injured, into the 8 here. He's sitting now at 5 in this British 8, and he's brought real strength to the boat, give them a little bit of stability, and they have been improving right through this last couple of months. And they're showing that now. They're looking very fine there. Olympic champions in Sydney, a completely different lineup. Young men here, young guys, and they are here looking very serious now, putting pressure on the United States.
Yeah, it's good to see Ed Code with all his injuries behind him. Of course, he was a world champion in his own right in the 4 in 1991 and again in 2001. But Canada facing you there, Jeff Powell in the stroke seat, Adam Creek just behind, then Andrew Hoskins, and it's Brian Price, the coxswain, with his back to you there, as it was 12 months ago. And the Canadians now, look how they've opened this up, Dan. That's almost 3/4 of a length.
Halfway, 3/4 of a length, up at 36 strokes a minute and really shifting. The United States, they're up at 37 strokes a minute, but they can't make an impression as Canada keep on moving away. Great Britain still sitting there, just 1/4 of a length down on the United States, but Canada, this lie back there, they are forcing it back. Look how they just push those finishes away. They are staying there, 3/4 of a length up and looking strong.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of the British crew, but worth a comment, I think, about young Tom James in the stroke seat, a man of much promise.
Yeah, he's 18 years old. He was in the Cambridge boat that raced in the boat race. Sitting behind him is Robin Bourne-Taylor, who was in the Oxford boat. There was only 1 foot separating those two boat race crews. 3 months ago. Now here they are, partners in this extraordinary effort here by Great Britain, sitting in the stern pair. There they are, moving up there. They're still only a couple of feet down on the United States, and it's this great combination in the stern of this British 8 that seems to be locking it together. It's a very strong boat, and they are really feeling their strength now as they sit there, these three crews, all beginning to move back a little bit on Canada.
And there is Tom James, you just saw him momentarily there, and once again we've got a pincer situation. We've got Canada having to keep an eye on the British to their right and on the Americans to their left.
Well, it's 37 strokes a minute to the British crew, and they are moving up all the time there. It's Biff Simmons sitting at 6 in that boat. He's really improved in the last couple of years, and he is sitting there anchoring the boat at 6. But it's Canada as they go into the last 500 metres, 3/4 of a length ahead, and it's Great Britain and the United States dead level, almost a length clear there of lane 6 France.
And I just wonder, Dan, again, whether the Australians and Germans are being hampered by the conditions, because they're rather a long way off the pace for the form we know they can produce.
Well, Germany have been pretty dominant on the European scene for the last couple of years. They were second last year. You wouldn't expect them to be languishing 8-9 seconds behind these leading crews. So certainly it's having an effect. But these two are in the middle of the race. Canada and the United States, they're in the middle of the course. So certainly they're pretty evenly matched, and that's a fine performance from Canada in the last 200 metres of this race.
Yeah, very interesting. The Canadians not getting away as they did last year in Seville. The Americans now really mounting a challenge as we come to the absolute business end of the race there. Brian Price having a look round now because his lead is being reduced now. It's down to just about 1/4 of a length. Great Britain still in the bronze medal position, but the Americans are gaining. But will the line coming time? Brian Price just looking a little anxious there, but the Canadians still have the call coming towards the finish of the race now. Not many more than 10 strokes, and they are pulling this out now as the Americans really chase them down as hard as they can. The crowd are on their feet here, and this looks as if it's going to be another Canadian victory, and it is. They retain their title. A brilliant charge by the Americans, but not quite enough. Britain take third place ahead of France on the far side, who finished rather surprisingly ahead of Australia and Germany.
Well, what a fantastic finish there. Great rowing there from Canada. They went right out from the start. United States just led for the first 200 metres, but then Canada took over. Canada led it, but what a great comeback there from the United States. There's Jason Reed sitting at 2 there. Pretty disconsolate. Moved from the pair a couple of months ago with Volpenheim at 5. They were in the pair, very fast pair, but put in this 8, strengthened it, and it nearly paid off. Great rowing from the United States, and what a good third place there for Great Britain with that bronze.
But all credit to Canada. They won the 4s yesterday, and they've defended the 8. So much joy for their coach, Mike Spracklen. Perhaps a little disappointment for the American coach, Mike Tatey, but Steve Gunn, the British coach, he'll be pretty happy with the performance of the British 8. And to do the honours, the president of the International Rowing Federation, Mr. Denny Oswald. Well, Dan, highlights for you.
Well, it's been great to see the medals spread around. Only 6 defending champions coming away there, so that's that's a pretty good result, and it opens up everything for the Olympics. But good to see Luini and Pettinari in the double. Great performance from them, and the Australian pair. What a wonderful pair they are too. I also thought that the single scull result for the men was a great performance there from Tufte.
Yeah, and perhaps the spotlight going off Marcel Hacker might actually be of assistance to him.
Sure, I think that's absolutely right. I like the little baby there getting the medal. I think that's a great success there. But Canada and Mike Spracklen will be delighted with that defence of their medal.